Time I get another ship in. This is a DVD recorder, and I don't know what's wrong with this one, so let's figure this one out. This is another piece of equipment that was shipped in from the same fellow that shipped me a couple beta machines, so good chance it's going to be full of those nasty shipping peanuts like the other ones, of course. If you thought that this is a Panasonic DVD recorder, you'd be thinking that because that's what type of box it was in, but it's actually a Toshiba, and he paid $5.99 for this one. It's a Toshiba DR5 DVD RAM, DVD-R, DVD-RW recorder. So, don't know anything about what's wrong with this. There was no info. But we'll try this and see if it works. See if we can make it work. So first things first, I'll just pop the top off of it. The problem when you buy these units, these used recorders, is if you don't get the remote control for them, a lot of times you can't really do a heck of a lot. You can't do important things like finalize discs. So here's the recorder. As you can see, this one here has what looks like is a computer drive, but it is actually not a computer drive. It's just a DVD RAM, DVD-RW, DVD-R drive in a shielded box. I haven't plugged this unit in yet. We'll plug it in now and see whether this even turns on and whether it'll do anything. So I've got power. The clock display lights up, so that's a good sign. That part works.
At Purdue, we're always hungry for better tasting chicken, so we use.
So I've got no video out. Let's turn it on and see what happens. See, the thing is, some of these units here, it may be set for HDMI out or component out, and I've got it plugged into a composite monitor. So there's a possibility that it's not going to do anything, and I'm not going to get a picture, and without the correct remote, I may not be able to change any modes on it. I think he said there was a problem with the HDMI or the board here. The guy said somebody had circled something on the board. As you can see, I've got no output, but if I plug the video output in, if I plug the video input to the TV into the component output, I get that. So we're getting a signal coming out the component output, but nothing out the composite. It does open. I want to see if it'll play. I want to try playing a DVD to see if I get a picture coming out of the component output. So I'm going to load a disc. Looks like this is set for a 1080i output. I wonder if my Toshiba DVD remote will control this. I have a Toshiba DVD recorder. I wonder if mine will control this thing and change anything. Let's just see if it'll read this disc first of all. It says load. Okay. Let's see if it'll play. Okay, it's playing, but it's of course not playing correctly. I'll try my remote, see if I can change anything in the menu. Okay, I got my remote for my Toshiba DR, I think that's a DR7 that I've got. Let's just see whether this will change modes. First of all, will it stop the tape or stop the playback? And yes, it does. Okay, so we know that this remote controls at least some features. How about setup? AV output. Let's change it from general. Let's do a restore on this thing. This format version. Let's restore factory defaults. We'll see whether restoring factory defaults will get the composite video set up. Okay, it just did something. Let's plug the video into the look. I've now got it set back for, so it was set for probably a progressive scan output is what I think it was set for component. So now we've got our unit reset, AV outputs. See, other just has JPEG interval. Okay, so that's got that part fixed. Maybe this unit is going to work. Setup, back to general. I don't see any setting here for it's got DVX other display call. Okay, so now if I play this disc, it plays through the composite output, and it'll also play through component output, but without being in, if I plug it into component output, I should see the picture now should just be in black and white because it's a 480i output now. So it must have been turned on to progressive scan, which I don't even see an output. I don't even see a way to adjust that on here. It might be a separate button on the correct remote for it. But I was able to get in just by using the component output. And this TV, for whatever reason, is able to sync up. It was getting the much higher frequency that would be sent out at progressive scan. It was able to lock into it. My CRT monitor couldn't lock into it. I plugged that in and I just had a scrambled mess. So this is working, which is good. I'm curious as to whether it will record, and to do that I'll go and get a DVD-RW and we'll try making a recording on this machine. I'll load one of these mini DVD-RW discs. Of course, these ones were designed for camcorders, but they'll work just fine in a regular recorder. They're just a smaller, shorter version of the disc. I think this one's blank. I'm pretty sure I erased what was on here. I got, when I bought that little camera for like 30 bucks, I got a spindle full of discs, so they're perfect for just testing stuff with, because I'm not using these discs for anything, obviously. So I'm just going to load this one up and see whether it's got anything on it. I think I erased it. And then we'll try making a recording. This has a tuner. This machine has a tuner, so I should be able to hook it up to my house cable and make some recordings with it. According to the machine, this is a bad disc. And I know that that's not the case. It's not a bad disc. So perhaps the drive itself also has a problem that we may have to check out. I'll pop the top off this thing and we'll clean the laser and make sure that the optical pickup is not dirty. because this disc should be just fine. Of course, I should pay attention because you see this particular unit records to DVD RAM, DVD dash RW, and DVD dash R, and the disc I attempted to load was a DVD plus RW. That little camera that I've got will work with either type, as will my Toshiba DR7 and my other Toshiba decks. They will work with both the plus and the dash version. So this time I've got a dash RW disc. We'll load this one up. I'm going to connect my cable and get this thing to tune in my test channel, and we'll make a recording, if it will read this disc, that is, of course. Disc is not recognized, or it's a new disc. Yeah, well, it's one I've erased. It's got nothing on it, so we'll just prep the disc for recording. So now it says erase on the front panel on the machine. I should dig up my DVD RAM disc as well. We'll test that, make sure that it can work with RAM discs as well, which are kind of scarce these days. I don't think they even make them anymore. For that matter, they may not even make DVD-RWs anymore. I really haven't seen any in stores in a long time. Used to be you'd walk into any corner drugstore and they would have spindles of discs, 50 discs for $29. Now you go in there, you got any blank DVDs, and you get blank stares from people. It's just ridiculous. I used to go through hundreds of discs. I used to buy them by the 100 disc spindle because everything I archived was being archived. What? This disc is damaged or not compatible and cannot be used for recording? You gotta be shitting me. Well, I wonder if it just ruined my disc. I'll try putting this disc in my machine because I know that this disc was working. I used it. I'll try this in my machine. Maybe this is now gonna, if this disc won't work in my machine, then this drive just destroyed my DVD-RW, which won't make me too happy because I've lost a few of them through bad drives lately. So I put the disc into my own DR7, and the disc is recognized, no problem, and I was able to format it. Everything looks good. I'm just going to try putting in a recorded DVD plus RW and see if it will play a recorded disc. And maybe this has got a laser problem as well, which is, entirely possible because it is pretty old. Oh, I've got the bad disc message again. If we look at the front of the machine here, it says bad on the display. And this is a disc that's got a recording on it that was made in the camera. Now, it's a plus RW disc, but that shouldn't matter for playback. It should play it back, no problem. The fact that it's not, it's playing a DVD-R, a dash R, or was that a plus R I played in it? What was it? It was a plus RW, it was a plus R. The disc that I played was a plus R, and it played that fine. Right, but it would not recognize a dash R disc, and it would not play a plus, or I should say, would not recognize a dash RW disc. And when I tried to format it, it told me my disc was no good, when the disc is actually fine. When I tried to play a pre-recorded plus RW, which should have also played, because once it's recorded and finalized, it should play fine. It wouldn't play that either, so I'm wondering if there's a problem with the drive. So I'm going to pull the screws, lift the top off, and see whether the laser is dirty and whether we can clean it and make it work. If not, then this machine is not going to be worth fixing because, well, these devices typically aren't worth fixing. And it looks like the guy paid $6 for it. So, if we can get it to work for a $6 investment, he's done okay. But other than that, oh, wonderful. You can see this track here is used to do something. I guess I probably wasn't supposed to take this apart. Anyway, I want to clean the pickup here. Doesn't look to be dirty, but we'll give it a clean anyway. I'll power this thing up. You might be able to see the laser light up and burn out my camera. Gonna see any light come out of this laser? Yep. It does light. So once again, I'll try to load the DVD-RW discs. And it says, disk is not recognized, there's a new disk. Do you want to erase and repair the disk? I tried another disc. This is a brand new disc. I just tried. It's never been recorded on. It's never been formatted. It's a DVD-RW. This one here is this one is a Maxell. And I got the same message as before. And that's a brand new disc right there. So this machine has a problem with DVD-RW discs. The disc case, I just opened this, like literally it was just sealed. It's one of a few that I've still got. I figured I would try a brand new one and it still did not work. We're going to try a DVD RAM disc. This says bad disc on it because sometimes erasure and recording is possible, other times not. I have some historic footage on this disc, and this was from the Gulf War, so that gives you an idea how long ago this was recorded. You know, this is going back to the early 2000s. What was it, 2001 or 2002? When was the Gulf War? Seems like another lifetime ago. Anyway, this one here is to say very old recording, and I know that it does play. I don't know if it's going to play on this machine or not. We're going to find out momentarily whether this recording is going to play, because I just played this on my Panasonic, so I know that the recording is good. We'll see if this one can read this DVD RAM disc. And I get that same message. Disc is not recognized. There's a new disc. Do you want to erase or repair this disc for recording? No, I don't, because I don't want to lose the recording. So this drive obviously has a problem. I'm tempted to see whether I can, maybe I'll sacrifice a DVD-R disc and just see whether it'll record. A brand new Memorex DVD-R. I'm going to put this disc in and we'll see if it'll record. I'll take one for the team. I'll just record. I got my scenery stuff playing right now with music. I'll just let this thing go for a full hour. Set it to the SB speed. Let it go for the full hour and fill the entire disc up with some music and some scenery content. And we'll see whether it will actually record and whether I can finalize the disc. And then we'll know for sure whether this machine's going to do anything other than playback. At this point, it looks like it's just going to play back. But I could be wrong. The unit might write to DVD-R. I get this message telling me that the tray is empty, so it might not even be recognizing that there's a disc in there. So it might not record. It says load on the screen here to see if it'll detect the disc. If it'll detect the disc, I'll try to record for 60 minutes of some content. See? It says DVD-R video. Disc is not recognized. Let's just see whether it will prep the disc and see whether it will actually give me a message telling me that I can record. I'm intentionally zooming in on the screen here so that I don't get hit with a copyright match. Disc is ready for recording. Holy smoke. Okay, I'm going to record this disc and we'll see what we get. I'll check back once it's finished. So it's recording now, so it says. So I'll let this go for the hour, finalize it, and then I'll see if it plays back in other equipment. Looks like maybe it's going to record on DVD-R, but -RW, forget it. It didn't recognize two different discs, and it would not play back a recording on DVD RAM either. So could be just the laser itself is shot. Yeah, I got the message that the disc is now full. It says recording stopped because disc is full. So let's see if I can finalize the disc. You enter the general menu. Let's just see whether I can disc finalize. Here we go. Finalize the disc. Let's see if this disc will finalize and whether it will whether it'll play on my other machine once it's finalized. Of course, the remote is needed to do that. I don't know if the guy that owns this has the remote. Looks like he picked it up at Value Village for $6, but I guess if it records DVD-R, is going to use it to archive recordings, they're going to be archived onto DVD-R anyway, and the RW and RAM is really not a complete write-off as if it's going to be used as an archiving machine. We'll find out in a minute whether it's going to finalize the disc or not. Meanwhile, about 5 minutes later, it's still working at finalizing this disc. This is a slow process on a lot of these machines. Some of them are quick, but most of them, or a lot of them, are just painfully slow, like this one. Looks like the disc is finished finalizing, so let's just play it back. And there's the recording. So that part looks like it's working. There it is. Disc is fully burned. We'll take this in and try it on one of the other machines I've got. Make sure that it plays. And then we'll finish this one up. I'll just throw the top back on it. As I say, if it's working for DVD-R, I guess that's better than nothing. But it's certainly not working with -RW or RAM. It just doesn't see them at all. And it was able to burn a Memorex. And I tried both a Memorex and a Maxell DVD-RW, and it wouldn't recognize either one. It wouldn't set the disc up. It wouldn't format it, either one. It just came up and said disk is bad. So something obviously is wrong with the drive. Anyway, let's take this in the house and I'll try it on my other player. If it plays okay, then we'll call it a day on this. At least it partially works. First, I will try it on my Panasonic DMR-EH50. We'll load it on this one and see whether it plays. It looks like it's going to read it. I'll press play. And the disc is playing on the Panasonic. So let's try it on the Toshiba. We'll try it first on a DR430. This is also a recorder. This records on DVD-R-RW plus R and plus RW. Identifies it as a DVD-R and it plays. There we go. So it plays on this one. I'll try it on one more machine. I'll try it on the DVR7, which is a VHS combo DVD recorder. It's now loading up on the DVR7, and there this one plays. So this one's set for 4:3. So there it is. So it plays on them. So obviously it's recording no problem onto DVD-R media. So that part works, but DVD-RW and RAM, no. Anyway, thanks for watching.